Hey, are you back for episode 114? Are you back for episode 2 of season 7? Is that you? Is that you there on the horizon? Come on in. Come on in. It's High Tales of History. Tell your friends. We are back. You are back. It's High Tales of History. This is a history podcast where two sisters get high and surprise each other with a story from history's vastness. There's so many things in history we can talk about. And I am your big history sister, your history big sister, your big history sister. I'm here with you. My name is Laurel.
And I'm Katie.
How you doing, Katie? You all right? Things good in your world? We might have just changed shirts and just started the next episode. We might have just done that. So Katie's like, I mean, nothing's new since the last time I told you, man. I can't pull over anymore. I'm already pulled over.
Well, I was going to say I was prepping a trip to London, but other than that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually Katie, by the time this comes out, we'll actually be in London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there you go.
I hope you're enjoying yourself, Katie. She's going to go see Kim Dracula in Camden in London.
Well, we're going to London, but yes, we will catch Kim while we're there.
Oh, amazing. That's a perfect place to see a Kim Dracula show is in Camden. I love that.
That's what you're saying.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
People say.
I'm stoked about like walking around some of the stuff that I didn't get to see last time. You know, like when your partner asks, he's like, all right, well, like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, first of all, we're kind of doing what I want to do because I wanted to go to the Kim show. And he's like, but like, what else? Like, what London thing do you want to do? And I was like, fair. The Natural History Museum. I want to go see some dinosaurs. He's like, I felt that coming. And I was like, you should have. That's not my fault.
Yeah. British Museum. They've got loads of pilfered stuff in there.
Oh, I bet they do.
so much stuff. Just loads of stolen goods. But it's worth, no, it's, I mean, it is worth seeing for sure. But, yeah.
Tower of London. I've never toured the Tower of London.
Me neither, actually.
Oh,
that's a place
okay. That was what you and I were talking about.
Yeah.
I remember we actually had talked about this before because you're like, I've never done that either. Because Blake was like, whoa, we get to see Buckingham Palace. Meanwhile, here's me. I'm like, it's nothing special. It's rather boring, actually.
Changing the guard might be fun, but yeah, I mean, it's, yeah.
Yeah. So when I was there, they were in gray coats. And I remember I was really upset about it. I was like, no one told me the red coats were seasonal. I was so upset. I don't know what they'll be this time. They'll probably still be gray, right?
Yeah, because that's like their big overcoat, you know, to help keep them warm while they're standing outside. The red is there. It's just under the coat.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought they changed colors. I don't know. I'm just excited to like see things around there. Because a lot of the time, like I've not really like stopped to like explore solely London. And I had an offer by a local who said she had said that she's like, well, I don't want to go because what had happened? Met through the reptile community because, as you know, like heavy into the reptile community, found my picture with Kim, messaged me and goes, holy shit, you've met Kim Dracula, to then proceeds to say, cool. So like, if I don't want to go alone, so if you come out here, do you want to join me on Toad Patrol? I was like, now hold on.
Hell yeah, sister.
I get to run around the English countryside with you in a reflective vest, wellies, and collect local specimens? I can't think of a way I'd rather more spend my time. I'm in.
You're doing that, right?
Well, I have to get back in touch and see like logistically how that's going to work out. But Toad Patrol, dude. Toad Patrol?
I don't even know what that means, but that sounds exciting. That sounds like exactly the thing you'd want to do.
Right. I think what you do is you collect frogs and toads off of the roadways, because what I understand is out in the countryside, there's this whole movement to put signs up so that they can cross and that they don't get hit as often in the roads.
Oh, okay.
This is this lady's whole thing. Like, she's all about it, and I am all about it with her. And so she's like been getting funding to put up toad signs all over. So and specific crossing points for them. Yeah, it makes it safer. Hopefully drivers will respect that. But you go and you collect them off the roadways. some alive, some dead, and you write down the species that you find, and like, take your counts every day, and it's added to like local data about the local population. It's like
Get in there. Get in there.
So if I go on Toad Patrol, I'll make sure I have videos and whatnot to update you all
Please.
with. And I fucking
Please.
hope I do, because I want to. I was like, no
Reach
sooner
out.
was that message received in my DMs, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, I want to go on Toad Patrol.
Reach
When
out.
and
Reach out
where?
for all of us. Well, what are you imbibing in or drinking or
hold on,
whatever
let's see
today?
what the flavor is. Huckleberry.
Oh, I'll be your
Huckleberry gummy, a 5 ml.
Nice.
That's currently taking me for a ride right now.
I'm on the downslope of the strawberry one I had earlier in strawberry, but I've just topped up my whisper mule.
Your whisper mule? Yeah, for real.
I love it when we have these sort of back-to-back recordings. This is fun. So we get to it's kind of like the old days where we still have two historical accounts in one. So it's kind of nice. Selfishly, I get to have two things and get to hear what Katie gets to talk about. But
that's kind of the point.
What could that be? Yeah, what could it be, Katie?
Okay, everybody get comfy. We're in the 1960s, so last I almost said week, already. Last episode, we were across the Pacific in the land down under. Which I can do in a fake Australian accent, but I'm not going to, because I want them to keep listening.
Yeah. Let's keep them as much as we can here.
Because I treasure them. And so we're across the Pacific. We're on the California coastline, right? Across the Ring of Fire.
Okay. Let's just hop across there. Easy. Yep. Easy peasy.
We're in the 1960s. All right, y'all. Get comfortable. Oh, I should give you an expectation, right? It's not like a happy tale, but I will glean hope from it for you. How about that?
Yeah. Well, you know what? The purpose of communicating history is that, sorry, as you might be able to hear my neighbors in the background, communicating history is that we are hoping to get people to care about what we're talking about. Not that it's just one little snapshot of like this fun little story. It's like, why do you want to care about this? And I love that.
Yeah. It ties into a current day affair like heavily. So, which I have a whole last page dedicated to. So,
get them.
Here we are on the morning of January 28th, 1969. Haha. And I'm going to laugh about it every time. 69. Anyway, that's the last modicum of joy you'll have in this episode. It only goes down from here. So, 1969. We're in the ocean off the coast of California. The ocean begins to boil. It's roiling. It wasn't a storm. It wasn't a natural phenomenon. 6 miles off the shore at Union Oil's Platform A, a decision to cut corners had just turned fatal. Workers had drilled a 5th well, but in a rush to extract the value, the oil, from the crust of the earth, which incidentally is dinosaurs. Anyway, I won't sit on that though. I won't sit on it. So in a rush to extract the value, the company had obtained a waiver to install a protective casing only 239 feet down, hundreds of feet short of the federal standard.
No.
When the pressure from the depths hit, the ocean floor cracked open. And what followed was not just a spill, it was a rupture in the earth that would bleed 3 million gallons of crude oil into the Pacific, turning the pristine beaches black and ultimately turning the United States nation green.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. That was a good turn of phrase there, Katie. I'm just going to applaud your writing right there. That was really nice.
I had help. I think it was a phrase in one of my things. So but thank you. I'm pretty sure it's like it's a well-known phrase from that event.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Shores are
But
black.
thank you.
Turns America green.
Nope,
Yeah. You know what? Let's
yeah.
keep it going. Perpetuate that.
If you hadn't figured it out yet, we are talking about the 1969 Santa Barbara oil spill. And if you are familiar with it at all, you just yelled, "Oh, I know what that is." Because you'll figure it out at the end. I like to leave a little bit of the mystery for this history for you.
Ooh.
It leads to a day that we celebrate here in the United States. So,
Okay.
I'm guessing you've guessed it.
Arbor Day.
No, Earth Day.
Earth Day.
It's what birthed Earth Day, was this
Yeah.
oil spill of 1969 in Santa Barbara. So cutting corners, obviously not a great idea because it's led to this. So 10 days after the devastation, there's 50 years worth of legislation which inspires the first Earth Day, like we just said. And why Santa Barbara specifically remains a critical warning for the future. The pristine coast of Southern California in early 1969. I don't know if anyone's been to Southern California. It's my only entrance into the Pacific was a violent one, so don't ask me about it, but I'm told that it's beautiful. I got like grabbed by an undertow, slammed face first into shells, and dragged like for 30 feet into the ocean across it. And I was like, that wasn't fun. And I left. I was like, I've only been to the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah.
That's terrifying. No,
Yeah,
I mean,
the
I've
Gulf
been to
of
Southern
Mexico is,
California
like,
a couple of times, but like that's Santa Barbara. I think I've been through there.
Never
But a lot
been.
of our listeners are in the Southern California area, so
There you
you'll
go.
know. You
You all
just
know
take your
exactly
own
what's up.
personal experience there, and you can use that.
You can input your own pristine beach flavor with me violently being fucked around in the waves. So
Yuck.
that's what happens when you, like, your only ocean experience is the Gulf of Mexico. You're like, it's bathwater, first of all. It's warm as fuck. And it's like gentle.
I love it.
There's no violence.
Yeah.
It's like
we're just beachy. Just hanging
yeah, I
out.
think the I've seen bigger waves on Lake Michigan than I ever have in the Gulf. And I'm sure that changes because it is still the ocean. I'm not an idiot, but the lakes are very violent places. I don't know if you've ever been to the freshwater ocean. You should try it sometime with floaties.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm currently in the middle of my Edmund Fitzgerald winter. I like to wear lots of cable knit sweaters. I like to look out my big window here towards the water.
It's also
and
been
go,
like 5 degrees, so I don't blame you. It's been fucking cold.
Everything's icy and cold. I have like a steaming mug of something, you know.
The like
I
waves
yearn
are
for the
frozen
seas.
and and like violent postures. There's like a ship stuck
Pipe.
in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've
that's
got
me.
multiple you can pick from. Just let me know.
Sweet. Excellent. Perfect.
I fucking got you. You're a
Thank
Tolkien nerd here.
Thank
like
you.
I got you. From what I remember, a lot of the beaches are actually white sand. Oftentimes I've noticed, or a lighter colored sand. So it's like it's very pleasing coastline to look at. Yes. So pristine coastline of Southern California, 1969. Free love is a thing.
Yeah, 1969 Southern California is also like surfers. Let's put the Beach Boys on.
Sure. I didn't even think of that.
Midwest farmers' daughters. We really make you feel all right. Finger guns. And we use finger guns. That's
60s.
how we make you feel all right in the 60s. And we'll say goodbye to you for 40 minutes. Sorry. It's 1969 in Southern California. People have their Huarache sandals, their blonde hair. We got it.
Dude,
all right.
Pristine coastline.
I'm
ready?
I'm picturing it. Yes.
Here we go. The silence is broken by the roar of escaping gas. Sorry, I had to give you the real full effect.
Mm-hmm.
The blue water turned to thick black sludge. And the smell of crude oil overpowering the ocean breeze. Can you imagine?
Can you smell what the ocean has brought to your shores? No, thank you. Ew, that's gotta
Not
be
that you wanted.
awful. No.
Yeah. Pretty, like, this is gonna sound so like westernized consumer of me, and I'm very self-aware of that fact. My thought, think of all that wasted oil. That shit is so expensive. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, yeah, it's like first and foremost, the mess, right? Like the
The fact
environmental
that,
impact, right? Of course.
and it's going to
then
kill
yeah, you're
wildlife.
like,
So yeah.
we're waging wars for oil and taking over other countries for oil. And then all of it like washes up on our shores because we decided to not do something
And it
correctly.
was like
so
3
the
million
floor
gallons.
breaks open.
Yeah.
God.
3 million gallons.
Get
I'm
outta
sitting here and
here.
I'm like, and we pay how much for that now? I was like, oh my gosh. Is that terrible? That's kind of like where like my thought goes. Environment first,
I
yeah.
know what you're saying.
But then
though.
also I'm like, holy shit. Okay, so the ocean, as I had told you before, it appears to be boiling with oil and gas escaping from fractured seabeds around the Union Oil's A platform. So platform out in the ocean, you've seen it before. And if you haven't, fucking Google that and have nightmare fuel. That I could not imagine a place I would least want to be found on than an oil rig out 6 miles out on a coastline of the ocean.
I know of people who do it, and I cannot imagine what
nightmare
that's
fuel.
like.
I am a very, very terrestrial human. There are people who are very at one with the aquatics. I almost got kidnapped by a sea turtle in Maui, and I gotta tell you, I panicked. I was like, I am not the strongest swimmer in the world. I'm all right. I'm good. I was in like 500 feet of water. Like, it was really deep. Maybe close. Yeah, I was snorkeling like really fucking deep, dude. Like, I was out there living my best life. And then, because those...
the sea turtle's like, you're mine now.
Right? The goggles, normally I wouldn't care. He was trying to take me to Australia is what it was. He's like, ever been to the EAC, dude? And I was like, send it.
That you?
Crush.
Send it.
Crush. Squirt is the child.
Fuck.
Well, but you know what? That was 2003, so Squirt's probably a fully grown adult by now, so I'll give it to you.
Obviously. That's exactly what I was saying, duh.
I'm gonna make fun of you and rescue you at the same time.
God bless you.
I'm here for you. So those snorkeling glasses, they're like blinders. You can't really see super well out of your peripherals. And meanwhile, I'm here. I'm like, listen, I come from cornfields. I just don't want to get eaten by a shark when I'm out here because it's not like we were with a group or in a place where like a lot of like that is done. It's purely the locals told us to go here. And it's purely a locals only beach. Like everybody around us was like native Hawaiian. And I was like, we were getting funky looks for being white people. And I was like, okay, like, I mean, it was okay that we were there because we were with locals, if that makes sense. But like,
right. Okay. Yeah.
Because a lot of people on the island know my friend's uncle because he owns a scooter shop there. But again, it's not like it's like a well-trafficked area because like sharks are not going to come around unless they're fed, like any wild animal. They're not going to come around like a really high traffic area. They're like, nah, I'm good, thanks. I prefer to do my hunting in my own personal backyard, versus having tourists gaping at you. But I was just sitting there and I just remember the sheer panic at seeing a moving dark object towards me. I was like, holy shit. And then I realized it was a sea turtle and he was cruising. They are way faster than my Midwestern brain was ready for. And because when you're snorkeling, you're at the surface. You can't really I didn't have the know-how to dive down and get out of his way. So I just kind of sucked my tummy up and tried to, but I got caught on his shell because I don't know how much you know about turtles. They're bulldozers. They don't give a fuck. They're going through everything around nothing. And so I got caught on his shell and he started taking me out to the open ocean. I was like, no, this is not a place I want to be right now. I was able to eventually shimmy my hips off of it because he caught me right there, and he was moving. I mean, I had to swim back. I was a little bit God, I hope something doesn't eat me when I'm out here. Honestly, the thing I was panicking about the most was I'm not supposed to touch wildlife. I was like, oh shit.
He's touched me.
I know. I was like, what does one do in this situation? I was like, I'm not trying to ruin his ocean experience, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to respect nature. It's a big deal to me. Yeah, hence the topic of the today, environmental stuff is really important to me, Toad Patrol. And I was like I was in such a panic. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna get a ticket. I've done wrong. I've disrespected the homeland." Like,
I was gonna say,
yeah.
especially in front of like Native Hawaiians, I would have been like, I
What?
am
Can you even
so,
imagine? Yeah.
I'm so like, I
That's the
swear to God, I
whitest
wasn't
thing I
trying
could
to
have
touch it.
done.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I
Exactly.
was like, "Oh,
Oh no.
shit." Like, "Bro, I promise, dude, it's not what you think." It wasn't.
This white ladies touching our turtles. No.
Right? Don't do that, man.
No. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, what an experience to have that you can.
indeed. Sea
That's something
turtles.
that's happened to me. Wow. Um. So what's happening to the sea turtles in Southern California? What's
Oh,
going
sorry,
on?
we
Are
were
they
talking
okay?
about oil platforms is straight up a
Oh
nightmare
yeah,
fuel. So,
nightmare fuel. Yeah. No,
you're
thank you.
6 miles off the shore out to sea.
No,
The,
God, not.
ocean is boiling, right? Because all this gas and oil is just like so it's just like this roiling surface, under that platform A, Union Oil's platform A. The miles of sandy beaches are covered in thick black sludge, right? You can't go walk on the beach. It's literally completely polluted. In some places, the depth is up to several inches of just sludge. The spill, which is one of the first major environmental disasters covered extensively on television. So this is like one of the first ones ever that they were like, look at how shitty this is. It left a lasting dark bruise on the coast.
I'm looking at pictures
When,
of it right now.
are you?
I'll
Yeah.
put up pictures for everybody else, but the ones that I'm looking at, but it's like, yeah,
Nasty.
whoa.
Well, the initial blowout was contained within days. The structural damage, like the oil leaked for months. So the disaster began when the workers on Union Oil Platform A, located just 6 miles offshore, attempted to retrieve a drill pipe. A pressure imbalance caused a massive eruption of natural gas and drilling mud. So, if you remember what I said, they were supposed to put it like a protective outer shaft layer around this drill. There's supposed to be another one that was only 239 feet long, and it should have been much longer by federal standards.
Okay.
But they, what did they say? Something they got like a permit or like paid someone basically to like shortchange it. Well, this is why they need that because this is what happens. So
Fucking
they're
people and their
yeah.
money and
So when you
their.
hit, yeah, tell me about it.
Mhm.
So when you hit that, when you finally drill through the Earth's crust and you hit that spot, all that gas, mud, everything, right? Because as you're drilling, you're going through all of it. It comes firing back up. The crew managed to cap the well off at the top, but the immense pressure caused the ocean floor itself to fracture. It's like some crazy action movie, and not in a
Oh
good
my
way.
gosh.
Oil and gas start to boil up through the seabed in 5 separate places.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Holy shit. Yeah. When I read this, I was like, I feel like I should know this story better, and I've never heard about it. And like, we celebrate Earth Day, but I was like, wow, why do I feel like I should know that this was the start of it? Yeah.
Wow.
So
So it's
Mhm.
which makes sense in terms of
Okay.
the map that I'm looking at. I'm like, why does it look so like widespread
Yeah.
compared to where, but so that the ground has actually broken up and that's why it's in like weird spots popping up.
Yeah. Isn't it rough?
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. It's
That's bad.
yeah.
So
It's not
bad.
great. So for 11 days, that leak continued largely unchecked. An estimated 3 to 4 million gallons, so 100,000 barrels of crude oil escaped, creating an 800 square mile slick, 1,287 kilometers.
Yeah. Wow. That's that's nuts.
Yeah. So the
No.
ecological cost, it's immediate, right? Right away. Uh, at least 3,600 seabirds were documented dead right away, along with dolphins, elephant seals, and sea lions. So the difference between seal and sea lions,
Oh.
well, both pinnipeds, the sea lions like walk on their fins versus like the seals are the ones that kind of like long bodied. So dolphins, elephant seals, and sea lions dead. Like, I mean, this is a massive oil spill, right? Like these guys just, how are you going to breathe in oil? And
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Let alone all the
So,
fish and other marine life,
oh
right? I
god,
mean,
the the ecological disaster is just awful. The black tide, they called it, coated 35 miles of coastline, turning the white sands of Santa Barbara into a sticky, toxic wasteland.
Yuck.
Yeah. So here's some of the key factors that led to the failure and disaster was the insufficient casing, the Union oil. I combined them. I went Union Oil, and I was like, what is that? So the Union Oil Company secured a waiver from the U.S. Geological Survey to install 61 feet less casing than required, failing to adequately secure the well against the high pressure for the shallow oil deposits. Because like I said, when they hit that, it just comes right back, right? There's pressure in, that's how you're able to suck stuff up from the Earth's crust, right? When you breach that pressure, it's like a zit.
Yeah, there you go.
When you do that, everything comes out, right? Now, I don't know what a better way to call it except that.
It makes sense, though. Yeah.
So they didn't install enough casing for that, right? They didn't allow for that extra pressure that was going to be coming back up. They ignored safety warnings. The crew reportedly noticed signs of trouble, but continued drilling and never said anything anyway. It's coming out after they went for investigation. Improper sealing. When they tried to stop the initial smaller leak, they created excessive pressure at the bottom of the well, which forced oil and gas to rupture the seafloor, right? Because that's the thing. Yes, it came back up there, so they capped it off. It's like when you turn a hose off, right, on the end. Where is it going to go? You know, when that pressure is coming up, it's the same thing. Along with that, there was regulatory failure. The Johnson administration had accelerated the approval process for drilling and ignored local concerns regarding safety and the environmental impact. Probably not a great move. For example, with that casing, so they installed 239 feet of protective steel casing on the fifth well. The federal regulations require at least 300 feet. So they were, what is that? Did it say 61, I think is what I had earlier? Short on that. So that combined with the lax fast-tracked approval process led to that high-pressure blowout. And it ended up, like I said, even worse. It's not even that first oil spill that would have been the problem had they left it, because it probably could have been contained. It's that closing it off and then fracturing of the seabed, because I don't even know how you stop that. You just have to wait for it to stop, don't you?
What do you do? Yeah, right. What do you do at that point?
I don't think you can. Yeah. So the Santa Barbara spill is the first oil spill to be televised in American living rooms, right? So it brings it home. It's kind of like the Vietnam War, where when people can finally see what that looks like.
Yeah.
So these images of dying birds and blackened beaches shocked the nation. But for one man, it was a call to action. And I swear to God, I did not do this on purpose, but it's going to happen. Senator Gaylord Nelson of, wait for it, Wisconsin.
Hell yeah. He's like, I like cheese curds too.
Yeah, he does. He was eating them on the plane on the way over.
Yeah.
Vegans, but they're wrong. So, no offense. I applaud you for your way to choosing to live, but cheese and I will never be divorced. It's just not going to happen, champ. So, Senator Gaylord, I didn't mean that to sound like so. I was like, vegans, like monotone. Nothing wrong with that. More cheese curds for me.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with wanting to drive responsible sourcing. I stand for it, and I agree with you.
And, speaking of pollution and ways to help the earth, being a vegan or vegetarian is, that's one way of doing it.
So Senator Gaylord from Wisconsin, hailing from the great state, that is, he visits Santa Barbara in the wake of the spill. Viewing the devastation from an airplane, he was struck by the scale of the destruction. He got inspired by those anti-war teach-ins in schools, if you remember, during the Nelson era. So he harnesses that power and that what do they call it? They refer to it as grassroots energy. I was like, okay, for the environment though, right? So they're like, all right, what we can do is teach the generation of tomorrow basically to save today, because that, So the direct line of inspiration led to the first Earth Day on April 22nd of 1970, where 20 million Americans took to the streets.
Wow, 20 million people taken to the streets for the first Earth Day. That's an amazing turnout. It's Laurel here with you at the midway point. We hope you've been enjoying yourself so far in the smoke circle. If you have been, please make sure that you're liking, subscribing, following all the things on the platform that you're listening on. And also, please be sure to rate and review if you really like what's going on. Or share this episode or any one of our other episodes on your social media or with one of your friends. And speaking of social media, we are there. We're there also. We're on Instagram at High Tales of History or on TikTok at High Tales of History Pod. We're also over on Patreon. We call it the Best Buds Club. You can join the Best Buds Club for free, or you can monetarily support us, in which case we'd be eternally grateful for your support. But over on Patreon, we have our half-baked mini episodes. We have historical movie nights on the couch together. We have a little bit of cooking videos. We have just some extra stuff there. So if you're missing us the other days of the week, that is where you can also find us. Again, that is patreon.com/High Tales of History. All of our social media is linked in the show notes below. All right, so we have had quite a disaster here with this oil spill. But Katie's about to tell us how things get turned around and how new legislation gets put into place to help protect our environment for the future. So with that said, let's puff pass it on to part 2.
So I've compiled a small timeline about the events that led up to Earth Day's founding. So
Okay.
January 28th of 1969 is the blowout of Platform A. Suffers the blowout, the seafloor fractures, and the oil begins to gush. Spring of 1969, the visit of Senator Gaylord Nelson. He tours the site, probably eating cheese curds. The idea for the National Environment Teach-ins is born. He's like, I know what we're going to do. We got to make sure this never happens again. This is a big deal. Wisconsin, especially like Wisconsin I grew up with. I know Wisconsin now is a very different state than it was when I was like young and before that. Conservation is a big deal to them, especially the Midwest. Right? Less so in our home state of the Illinois, but we're a little bit more like, especially the closer you get to Chicago, it's tough. Around a big city, there's just a lot of people, a lot of sprawling land. But Michigan, Wisconsin, conservation is a big deal to those states. And they are, honestly, a lot of times if you do see tourism ads, not done by me, it talks about how clean the air is, or like pure Michigan, the purest water, the purest air, the purest land and stuff it's a big deal to them. So It doesn't surprise me that it was a Wisconsin man who was like, we got to do something about this.
Let's
Shoving
get in here
cheese
on this.
curds angrily into his mouth.
And these are states that also like border Great Lakes too.
Yep.
And so like Great Lakes are our freshwater supply, we don't want I think there's this especially like a conservationist mind or concern in these states that surround Great Lakes, because it's to make sure like water's important in general, but it's especially going to be important in the future. So no AI centers next to the Great Lakes. And there's a lot of like push for making sure that water is conserved and protected, and the woodlands and stuff like that, which is just a nice thing to do anyway, but like in the sense of like for the sake of humanity, you know? Yeah. So
industry doesn't need to be like, people just always want more and more and more. And sometimes the answer is actually less, right? So this senator, good point, Laurel. They feel very strongly in these states about conservation. It's a big deal. So Wisconsin man, Senator Nelson, he sees this. By January 1st of 1970, NEPA is signed. I'll tell you what that is in a second. President Nixon signs the National Environmental Policy Act, a direct legislative response to the public outcry, right? He's like, we got to do something about this. I mean, you should do something about it anyway, but people were pissed. as they should be, as any South Californian would be. They'd be like, you just fucked up my entire home.
Right.
And not
yeah.
only that, because their nature out there isn't like forests and like, woodlands like we have here. It is the coastline. It is, the rocky beaches where you see pinnipeds, which are just like seals and stuff.
Aw.
Like, sealing and doing their natural thing, seabirds, the ocean breeze, like that is their nature out there. So you done gone and fucked up, hey Ron. And so they signed the Environmental Policy Act. That's January 1st of 1970. By April 22nd of 1970, the first Earth Day, where 20, not 12, 20 million Americans demonstrated for the environmental protection, cementing the movement's political power. So, like, basically everyone, like, took to the streets and was like, this is fucking wrong.
Hell yeah.
So, not only was the senator moved to action, but so were the people whose lives were affected and turned their helplessness into action. Southern Californians, looking at you. It's about time you guys got a little bit of love from me. Like, goddamn.
Right. We haven't really been here, geographically speaking.
I know. They just need a little bit of tenderness, a little bit of care. So, grassroots mobilization. They introduced the Get Oil Out, or GOO, GOO, the local organization formed by citizens who felt betrayed by the government and the oil industry, as they should. They collected signatures and held protests on the blackened sand. The locals participated in the straw cleanup. It's the desperate low-tech effort of volunteers using bales of straw to soak up the oil. This will forever become a symbol of the public trying to fix a corporate mess.
Ugh.
Yeah. Want you to think about that. Remember, these companies get government approval to do it. It's not the government doing it. It's a company hired to do it, but they get government approval to do it. But companies should what? Be responsible for their mistakes.
Here.
As it obviously should, but the event also gained a presidential mention by Richard Nixon. He visited on March 21st in 1969. He stated, the Santa Barbara incident has frankly touched the conscience of the American people. No shit. This was a rare admission that the environmental damage was now a national political liability. So this is really what kind of a mile marker, if you will, in the political landscape of America. When environment became a big deal. And the reason I say that is because we're a country that literally has a party called the Green Party, which is based upon environmental change, right? Mm-hmm. So that is a big deal to the American people. We love our nature. We're a country who's very strong on that. We could do better. We could always do better. But that has always been a big deal for us. And I think a lot of that was birthed here, right? It's a country that it's fucking massive, so it took forever to settle. So a lot of our heritage markers are often nature-based, right? Like if you look, Laurel, at a lot of our quarters,
I see what
the
you're
Mississippi River, the bluffs out in like Wyoming or whatever, the Badlands in the Dakotas, Yellowstone Park, Yosemite National Park, our beautiful coastlines, all this, like a lot of our symbols are nature. What is synonymous with American freedom? A bald fucking eagle. Like a lot of like what occurs naturally in this land, stolen or otherwise, is the nature that is there, and this is kind of one of those big moments in our history that you get to see that when the people were like, fuck you, fuck your corporate oil drilling. You don't get to treat the nature like this. This is a big deal, like, and now, you're going to find people who unfortunately don't respect nature like they should. But for a long time, this country was really good about that. I know Aussies are really good with environmental stuff too. I know you've mentioned that with their recycling videos and stuff that you've been privy to, that it's also a big deal for them. So
my kid loves Australian recycling videos. Yeah.
Loves it.
Fucking loves it. Nice job, Australia. Surrey, especially. Good job.
You guys kill it every time.
Great.
But
Great stuff.
Yeah, and we're as countries were colonized and settled, quote unquote, a little bit later. So Europe doesn't have a lot of space, right? But there's places in Europe that are precious too. The Black Forest, they were having all that acid rain damage, and what did they do? They're like, emissions, fix this shit now.
That's right. Yeah,
You
forgot
know?
about that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the environment affects us all. So I'll get off my fucking soapbox. Not really though. So anyway, keep listening. So it touched the conscience of the American people. It becomes a national political liability. The environment is a big deal to us because if you ever listen to a not insane presidential debate, is all I'm gonna say. The environment is a big deal and is a big part of it. One candidate, when both of sound mind, is always gonna bring it up. So the outrage following the spill did not just result in a day of celebration. It birthed the legal framework that protects our environment today. In the span of just a few years, often called the environmental decade, the U.S. government passed more environmental laws than at any other time in history. So it starts in 1969 with the NEPA, National Environmental Policy Act, required federal agencies to assess environmental effects, the environmental impacts, right, before making decisions. How is this going to affect our environment, which is really just step one. But 1970, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, established to consolidate federal research, monitoring, and enforcement of environmental laws. So they're the ones in charge of enforcing that. EPA, people, big corporations talk about it all the time. The EPA, is in charge of putting regulations down on these companies. No, you can't do that. Yes, you have to have this much casing. If you think you're going to do that, you're going to have to, follow X, Y, and Z. That's the EPA.
Yeah.
In 1972, we have the CWA, which is the Clean Water Act, established the basic structure for regulating discharges of pollutants into the waters of the United States. A big deal because I don't know how much we all know about this, but Laurel and I grew up in an area that was pretty old and had a lot of septic tanks.
Yeah.
It was often acceptable to dump them directly into the closest body of water. And I was like, what? I'm sorry, excuse the fuck out of me.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Clean Water Act, obviously very important. We all need water to live. Also in the year of 1972 was the Coastal Act, the California Coastal Commission. It was created by voter initiative to strictly regulate land use and public access along the California coast. California is another big one, I think, that they're pretty environmentally focused, right? It's a big deal for them, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. California very frequently leads the charge on environmental acts and things like that.
Yep. It's important. They also have a lot of people, so it's a lot to manage. So this was the largest oil spill in U.S. history at the time. Now it's ranked third after the Deepwater Horizon and the Exxon Valdez. I'm going to tell you about those. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill is the largest marine oil spill in history, beginning on April 20th of 2010, when a surge of natural gas ignited an explosion on a BP-operated drilling rig in the Gulf of Mexico, killing 11 people. The rig sank 2 days later, releasing 4.9 million barrels of oil over 87 days, causing massive environmental damage to the Gulf Coast. And now the Gulf Coast, because it is a Gulf, it doesn't get filtered as often as the rest of the ocean. Like, it doesn't get, the same flow and the same currents. So that water sits a little bit more stagnantly. That's why it's so gentle, right? Not a stronger current. So that, to have it in the Gulf Coast, I'm not saying it was great on the California line, but because they are next to much bigger ocean currents, it's able to get cleared a lot faster. So the Deepwater Horizon oil spill really sucks because when it happens in a Gulf, it's always worse.
And it was also the largest too. So it wasn't even like it ranked like fifth or sixth in the Gulf. It's like the largest and in the Gulf. So it's like doubly awful.
It's the largest marine oil spill in history as of right now. I hope it stays that way just because I don't want any more. And then the second largest was the Exxon Valdez oil spill. It was a catastrophic environmental disaster in 1989 when the tanker Exxon Valdez struck Bligh Reef in Alaska's Prince William Sound. Alaska has some of the most pristine glacier waters on Earth. This collision spilled nearly 11 million gallons of crude oil into the pristine waters, contaminating 1,300 miles of coastline, killing vast numbers of marine life and devastated the local economies because a lot of Alaska, you can't go to the middle because it's the fucking Arctic Circle. It's cold. You will not survive. And so a lot of it is built on fishing villages. And at the bottom of Alaska, it's called the Pineapple Express, actually. It's a warm water current that comes up from Hawaii. And the very bottom is very temperate right there. Keeps it warm. The water comes up a lot warmer. Like just on the very, you know how kind of like Alaska's like this, it has that little archipelago? It comes up right under that. It's like bloop, the very bottom.
I love that.
It's called the Pineapple Express. There you go. I know. Wanted to share that with you.
Yeah.
It's on brand. So it devastated local economies because most of them are dependent on fishing and tourism. What do we all go to Alaska to do? We go on a cruise or we go fight a bear or something. You won't win.
I don't think people are going to Alaska to fight a bear, but yes. I mean,
you never know, dude.
I mean, you don't want to. Grizzlies up there, man.
They
I mean,
will
others,
lose.
but yeah.
Grizzlies, Kodiak bears,
Kodiak.
get fucked. That's like a brown polar bear. Which polar bears?
Kodiak. K-Val? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, thank you.
Dude.
No, thank you, bears.
Limb from limb. The Exxon Valdez oil spill was the largest oil spill at the time, causing immense wildlife deaths. Seabirds, otters, seals, eagles, everything. And the long-term ecological damage, massive. It still has some oil persisting in the environment, like as recently as like the early 2000s, like decades. Like only now, I think, did they start to consider it clean. You know, and Alaska's like pristine. Orcas leaping in the, eagles, dude. Bears.
Eagles, dude.
Yep.
Salmon.
Definitely. Salmon. Big one.
I remember that one happening when I was little, and I even remember that being in the news for a long time, and also just like the long after effects too being something that we're talked about because I mean it fucked it up bad.
Interesting. Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick here. I was not alive for that, so that's interesting that you remember it. That's a big cataclysmic event, and frankly, that's terrible. So there are currently multiple proposed drilling projects. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, in the United States. As of early 2026, the U.S. Bureau of Land Management has reopened 1.56 million acres in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. It's the coastal plain. It's basically nearly 82% of this 23 million acre national park. They're opening it up for offshore drilling as of 2026.
Oh no.
Yes, it would be offshore drilling in the Gulf of Alaska.
We just talked about how Gulfs are not the place where you want to have any accidents.
Sorry. Drilling in the Gulf and in Alaska. It's worse.
Both.
It's actually both.
Double whammy.
Yeah. So the current administration is seeking significant expansion of offshore drilling in the Gulf, as we all know, of Mexico, in Alaska, and potential areas near California and Florida. Because that worked out so well last time.
There's so many bad ideas. What is going on?
Yeah. So, what can you do about this? Like, because there's a lot. I've actually, you've probably seen me repost about it a lot. There's a lot of very protected areas that are really at risk for this. So I wanted to bring your attention to why it's a bad idea, why we have Earth Day in the first place, and to be honest with you, to make you aware of it, because a lot of this is happening without the public's knowledge, and it's happening in the middle of the night. So what can you do? You can engage in the Department of the Interior, the DOI, public comment periods to oppose specific lease sales. So much backlash happened that now they are pushing a lot of these legal actions to the middle of the night because they know the public doesn't want it and they're trying to do it anyway. So contact your federal representatives to support that legislative rather than administrative action. Say, no, We do not want this. It was so bad. Um, Honestly, even just a quick Google search will help like put you in touch with this is the letter you want to send to your representative and stuff like that. I've done a lot myself, specifically for the Alaska one. I can't even tell you how precious Alaska is as a environmental resource. Yeah, it's rich in oil, but also that doesn't mean it needs to be pilfered and the environment ruined in the process because
Yeah.
some of that damage is permanent and we will not get it back. Um, so super important. Contact those local representatives, protections for the Arctic refuge. Support environmental groups that frequently sue to block these actions based on environmental impact violations. Um, I will have Laurel put a couple of those in the notes if you are
Yeah.
interested. I mean, at a certain point when things are kind of the way that they are right now, um, you really have to move quickly and with decisive action, or that will already be sold off and we will not be able to stop it. Um,
Yeah.
Especially, I just wanted to bring up this particular point. A lot of these companies that are being hired to do this drilling right now today, I can't speak for former, but today, a lot of these companies are all foreign. Um, which I don't have anything against foreign, but oftentimes it leads companies to be a little bit less careful with our environment because what happens here will not affect them, but it will affect us and it
Right.
will
I see what you're
affect
saying.
our
Yeah.
land. Yes. And like they want to open up somewhere along our Great Lakes up in Minnesota somewhere. They want to open up in the boundary waters. There's a big drilling thing going on.
Mm,
Please get informed about that.
don't do
Um
that.
And well, here's the thing is if it contaminates the boundary waters, it contaminates land of the lakes. That's why they have that name because everything's connected. All of them will be polluted. All of them will be ruined. All of them will have damage. So these are super important things to be informed about, to stay on top of. Um, yeah, man, don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. Just Man, I just love the earth and animals, as you can see. Everything centers around dinosaurs and animals and fun stuff like that. And like that's just where we live here, man. That's just where we live.
Yeah.
Um, I get interrupted by a turtle, I get interrupted by a cat. I'm surprised the gecko and the snake hasn't showed up. If a tarantula shows up, don't be surprised.
Don't get
But we
scared.
love animals. We love the environment. The Santa Barbara oil spill has taught us that the earth is not an infinite resource to be exploited without consequences, right?
Mhm.
The legacy of those 11 days in 1969, let alone in 2010, it's not just the laws that are written, it's the movement, right? That's born out of this.
Mhm.
These things that will define us as a nation, let alone as a people, because we're not just the only environment that needs protection. You know, there's Indonesia just had a bunch of hectares put over to palm oil instead of to protections. And here's the thing, I hate to say it, corporations do not care about the environment. They just don't. And everybody wants more of this, more of that, lower living costs. And at a certain point, you kind of have to stand up and say enough is enough
Mhm.
because money talks and they're going
Yeah.
to offer money because they want the land. And if you don't stand up and say something now, say, hey, I am not okay with that. There are baby orangutans over there, and that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we don't say something, it will happen. And if you sit by and watch it, it will definitely happen because they want you to say nothing. That's the
Mhm.
key, right? So every time we celebrate Earth Day, we are echoing the cry of a community that looked at a dying ocean and decided to fight back. The disaster shows us the price of negligence, but also the response showed us the power of unity. So, whilst I'm exploring London, probably geeking out about dinosaurs and toads,
Yeah.
I hope you're all inspired to protect your environment that you love so much, because I think we all do. And
Yeah.
I'll make sure I put those links to some of those agencies if you're interested.
Yeah. I'll have those in the show notes. I'll put them under mentioned in the stories, that section,
Yeah. So,
or in the story.
that is the 1969 Santa Barbara oil spill and subsequently how Earth Day was born and how our nation turned into kind of a green one. You know, recycling got brought to classrooms and stuff like that. Like that stuff became really important. So it was a big day.
Yeah, that's important stuff. Yeah, because protecting the environment is not like some hippy dippy concept. It certainly shouldn't be, or shouldn't be considered that. I mean, that like it's the air we breathe, the food we eat, the water we drink, the land we live on. You know, like that's everything that and it affects your health and like your well being and that of your children or grandchildren or whatever it might be. So yeah, I mean, it's just like we only get one Earth. We're not all flying off into space like Elon fucking Musk. You know, we don't get to go live on Mars, big dumb dork.
He's not even on Mars. He's gonna be here.
He's gonna be here. Not colonizing it. Like, you know what I mean? Really? Like how? Like anyway,
where you're gonna get the resources once
we
you're
get
up
to
there.
get the resources. But that's the thing.
Gonna
You know,
come
it's
from
just
here.
take.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, that's good. I'll put those resources in the show notes, Katie, because that is incredibly important. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good history. Good environmental history.
I always show up willing to play.
Yeah.
Or I don't play.
Right.
How would
You're
you
like,
say that?
what's going to
lack of playing there?
Yeah.
I'm here to destroy.
Yeah. I'm gonna fuck
in
your
the
whole
sense
thing
of
up.
injustice.
Yes. Yeah. Hell yeah. Wow, the sun's really gone down after our afternoon of recording. Well, thank you, Katie. Thanks for bringing that to the smoke circle today. And folks, we hope that you've enjoyed this little bit of environmental history, the 1969 Santa Barbara oil spill. I'll put those resources in the show notes once again so you can
Don't worry.
get involved.
I slipped a 69 in there for us all.
Nice.
Got you.
69, dude.
69,
Good work. That was
bro.
a weird sound that came out of my body. Too much whisper mule. Like, was that a burp or whatever that was? Well, we're going to have episode 115, which would be episode 3 of season 7. We'll have that coming up really soon. And who knows what I'm going to bring next? I don't know. I'm shooting from the hip, Tex. That's pa-cha. That's what I'm doing. Hope you come back and join us for that next episode. In between then and now, or now and then, anyway, in between these times, between
now and
episodes, now and later, join us over on Instagram. We're at High Tales of History, or on TikTok at High Tales of History Pod. We're on Patreon at High Tales of History, so you can join the Best Buds Club over there. You can even join as a free member to see what's going on. But otherwise, we have a couple of tiers that are like the price of a fancy coffee a month, and you can get little mini episodes, historical movie nights. We have some cooking videos, some extra content that we have over there. So, you know, if you miss us, should you want us, we're right here with you. But otherwise, we'll see you again in a couple weeks. And in the meantime, get money, get high, give love, and
protect your environment, man.
Protect your environment.
I think you knew where this was going on this one, dude.
Yeah.
Save the turtles, dude.
Save the turtles, save the whales, protect your environment. We only got one Earth, really. We only got one.
Bears, dude?
Bears, dude.
Bears?
Ripping.
You, limb from limb. So protect them.
Also that. Beware bears. Okay. Love you guys.
Beware the
Bye.